All right, today's video is on short game. And when we talk about short game, that is shots around the green, just off the green, around the collar or in the rough, when the golf ball is going to spend probably more time on the ground when you're considered chipping versus pitching. And the difference between a chip and a pitch in your short game is trajectory. A chip is a low flying shot, spends more time on the ground, rolling. A pitch is a high flying shot. It spends more time in the air, less time rolling. So whether you're chipping or pitching, trajectory is the key. Doesn't matter what club you select. If the golf ball spends more time on the ground rolling, it's considered a chip. If it spends more time in the air, carrying, flying to the target, it's considered a pitch. So when you're setting up for short game, a couple of things you want to be able to do. 3 primary factors you want to consider when you're working on your short game. The first thing is your lie. Where is your ball sitting? You know, what type of lie you have. That's going to dictate the golf club you select. Secondly is your hole proximity. How near or how far is your target away from you? And third is, based on those previous 2 things, your lie and your hole proximity, what kind of shot are you trying to execute? That'll determine whether or not you're pitching or chipping. Now, if we set up to chip, some very simple things. We want to set up with our stance narrow and open to the target. The reason our stance is narrow and open to the target is because we want to restrict our motion. When we set up with a narrow stance, you can't make a full golf swing or you'd be out of balance. So it's a very small shot, it's a low flying shot, so we're restricting the motion by narrowing our stance. Secondly, our stance is open to the target, meaning for right-handed players, your stance is aimed considerably left of the target. And the reason your stance is left of the target is because it enables the golf club to move down the target line without any restriction from your body. Your body is clear from the line of the intended target, so that's already done. We're presetting these positions so we don't have to move what doesn't have to move. And in golf, what we always want to do is reduce the amount of moving parts and make it as easy as possible to function in the golf swing. Fewer moving parts, let's break down. So for chipping, your stance is going to be narrow, open to the target. We'll grip down on the golf club for control. We grip down almost to the base of the grip, just before the shaft, in order to control the golf club better. And then when we set up, our weight is shifted forward toward the target. 75% of our weight is going to be on our lead leg toward the target. 25% remains on the right side or the back trail leg. So that weight distribution of shifting is to enable us to hit downward on the golf ball more. So when we preset that weight in our left side, 75, 25 on the forward leg toward the target, it enables us to descend and hit down on the golf ball more. So when we set up with the gripping down of the golf club to the end of the grip, shifting our weight primarily to the left side, our stance is narrow and open to the target. And again, all of that is presetting our ability to execute this golf shot. The only thing left to do now is to execute the golf shot. The primary objective when you go into motion is if the handle moves away from the target first, your execution is virtually guaranteed to hit solid golf shots. When you go into motion, the handle has to move away from the target first. You have to pull the handle back away from the target. And then the golf club head goes down to the golf ball and forward to the target. But if the first move you make is it wrist breaking and the handle points toward the target, that's when you hit thin shots and fat shots. Thin shots being when you pull in and top the ball, fat shots being when you hit the ground before you get to the golf ball. And the primary cause of that is the handle moving and pointing toward the target when you first go into motion. That is going to sabotage your ability to execute the golf shot. Pull the handle back first, and then the handle moves forward. If you pull the handle back, the club head goes down to the ball and then forward to the target. The golf ball will spin up the club face and the contact will be really pure, and you'll see the difference in how successful you become chipping when you make that motion. And again, if the ball's spending more time on the ground, it's considered a chip shot. The trajectory is about pitching or chipping. If you have a higher lofted golf club, the same thing applies. You know, you set up similarly, the handle moves first, and then the club head goes down to the ball and forward to the target. That's what's going to enable you to execute those shots consistently. If you like that lesson, leave a like or a comment. And if you're interested in working on your golf game, if you'd like to get in touch with me, I'll leave the information on how to get in touch with me in the description.